I was watching very carefully today a lot of the news that was going on and kind of enjoying the regurgitation of everything. And I've got to step back, kind of look at it very carefully and see, okay, what are we doing with this? What are we where are we going with this? And talking to friends, acquaintances. And the very first thing that people have to understand and to grasp, as we at this point, as we are 37 days, 38 days from the election, 38 days, 38 days. We watch this and we feel this incredible sense of anger, this absolute sense of anger. How dare these people do this? Oh my God. This woman. Okay, fine. That's what we say. We know that. We feel that. Yeah, fine. The question is, what does the rest of the world think? And what does the undecided and independent voter think? What do they think? And what do they think is going to happen before now and let's say then? We always spend time. It's the only thing we can do. We're stuck in reacting from our point of view. It's the only time in the world where we have to say, it doesn't matter what we think, it's what they think. Think about this. It's the only time when you are looking at and trying to respond to something normally, it's what do you think? And a lot of times people do not understand. There's a certain degree of selfishness that's normally the case. What do I feel? How do I feel about this? How does this affect me? What do I think about it? I don't want to say selfishness, but it's vis-a-vis you. Everything. What do you think about this? Do you like this song? Do you like this movie? Do you like this food? Do you like this? What do you think of daylight saving? What do you think about it? You. And what's so difficult for people to understand, specifically regarding the world of politics, is for the first time, it has nothing to do with you. Nothing. What you think means nothing. It's difficult for people to grasp. Exceedingly difficult. It doesn't matter what you think. And this is where we start with the problem. This is nothing to do with, Gut Bucket said this, and Jesse Waters said this, and Jake Tapper said this, and Joy Behar said this. Okay, that's fine. But unless other voters agree with it or don't agree, none of it matters. And I'm telling you, dear friend, I'm telling you, this is probably one of the most difficult things for you to understand, is that you live in a world where there are people who are going to vote for this woman, no matter what she does and no matter what she doesn't do. It doesn't matter. They're going to vote for her. You can laugh. You could look at, and people say, look at the $62,000 necklace she wore. Oh my God, $62,000 necklace. What the hell? $62,000. What does that matter? Anybody pick up on that? No. But we notice it, and it's valid. So she went and basically didn't do a whole hell of a lot of anything. I think it was an insult, an absolute insult to our way of thinking. The very fact that she would actually seriously think that we are, that we're going to buy this nonsense. And she doesn't care. And she went there and she kind of did a drive-by and there's your boyfriend, Bill Maher, did his thing, and he kind of joked about it, and we joked about it, and I joked about it. And we felt this sense of rage. It's like, how can she do this? And she did it. And I hear people and I think that they must be thinking to themselves, seriously, they must honestly be thinking to themselves that if you yell loud enough, maybe if you yell loud enough, that maybe somehow something is going to happen where she's not allowed to do it, where if we scream loud enough and say she can't all of a sudden claim to care about this, when for 3.5 years, when she said this, when she actually said words to the contrary. We have it on tape. No, you don't understand. She can't do this. She said specifically that and it drives people nuts. They cannot understand how this is even possible. And you're the same way, and I am too. You can't believe she's actually saying this. How is she allowed to do this? How does the thought police? How does the truth police? How in a group of people who talk about misinformation and disinformation, and they will go back and they will go nuts. Trump said this and that, but when it comes to something that she has said repeatedly, nobody says, "Wait a minute, hold it, excuse me, Kamala, what? You can't say that. What? No, no, no. You said before that this whole, the thing with the wall was a vanity project, and you didn't care, and you can't bring this up now. You can't change your mind. So think of something else. What do you mean? Well, think of something else because you can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? You can't. You can't do this. Why can't I do this? Well, you can't do it because it's wrong, and you can't do it. So the bottom line is simply this: she went. It's done. We're laughing at her. We don't seem to care about it. We're laughing at her. Okay. And what? What's going to happen? What do you think should happen? What was the result of that? What was the effect? Did that make any difference? Do you believe that made any difference at all, my friends? Do you believe, I ask you again, dear and glorious member of the conspiratorium, do you think, what is the result? What was the net effect of her attending the wall? What do you think happened? Did anybody, this is the only thing I care about, did anybody say, you know what, I'm voting for her now? She did there's a great, I saw a picture of her walking up and down the thing there, and she's got somebody from I guess it looks like somebody who's with the border patrol, and they're talking, and she's looking, and she's yeah, and she's doing this thing, yeah, and you know what? I'm going to vote for her. I'm going to vote for her because you know what? That's the kind of stuff I want to see. Do you believe, dear friend, that made any difference whatsoever? Did you? What was the purpose? Why did she do it? I don't think it made any difference. Why did she do it? Why did she do it? Why? She did it so they could stop bothering her, I guess. What's the net effect of it? I don't know. Does it matter? No. I mentioned something to you before, and I'm going to say it again. And this is the most important. This is the most critical, and I think you and I this may have happened to you as well, my friend. This may have happened to you, so let me say it. You go in, it's 5 days, 4 days, 2 days, 3 days, whatever days before this is done. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's days before this is done. And somebody walks into this, either they have a ballot, or they're in the booth, and they look and they say, "Nah, this is bullshit. I'm voting for Trump." That's what I want. That's what I want. Every single day, every time you see something, you see something, you hear something, whether it's about a poll, whether it's about whatever it is, I want you to remember. I want you to ask yourself, what is this going to do? Imagine you're sitting there and somehow somebody's going to get a hold of this. Somebody who is undecided, independent, who has not made up their mind. And for some reason, they see Kamala by herself walking and looking at concertina wire and just going like that. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? A couple of things are coming up. Number one, the debate with walls. Why is that important? Because of social media. The reaction that's going to come from that. The reaction that's going to come from that. That is the story. Now, I think I told you, and I'm going to say this again to you, because I think differently than most people. I do it. You know it. I know it. We all know it. I'm not apologizing for it. It's the truth. I don't think like the rest of these people. Everything that people care about doesn't matter to me at all. Doesn't matter one way or the other. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry to say this. It just doesn't matter. I think differently. And I have told, and I would say to President Trump, over and over again. Now listen, I know you don't care about this, but there's a group of people out there, and you haven't really thought about them. Maybe you should. Black people. Black people love you. Latino people and gay people. And gay people, not LGBT, not the militant, loud, the kind with the pink hair and the thing in his nose. I'm talking about gay people who are adults. Think about what I'm saying. Gay people who are adults. I'll never forget something one time that happened years ago. Maybe you think this is interesting, maybe not. I don't know. But I say it. A friend of mine, Mrs. Allenai, she died. And she was I think she was gay. We really don't know. It sounds weird. She was like maybe close to 80. She came from a time when nobody really said it. She came from a time when it was kind of hidden. She was involved in a lot of folks in Hollywood, Broadway, and I just, it was just a different type of person. There were people who were really kind of interesting. For example, years ago, one of the funniest people I ever met, who was one of the, and when you tell people this, they kind of sort of laugh at you a little bit. They don't really get it. But one of the most important people that I met, who had one of the biggest hit songs ever. She was gay, and her name was Leslie Gore. Remember, It's My Party? Okay. And one day I was at a party, and I'm sitting next to her, and we hit it off like you can't believe. Funny, had a dry sense of humor that I just thoroughly loved. Absolutely loved. And we were talking, and she had It's My Party. By the way, do you know that Quincy Jones was one of her producers, and absolutely oh, by the way, let me remind you, I haven't told you. Immediately following this at 8:15, Mrs. L is going live for Lynn's Warriors. Let me put this up for you. Got so many. I'm always, my eyes are going to this screen, that screen. Hell, I got one screen. What am I talking about? I got one screen. Make it sound like I got a bunch of screens. I got one screen here. This is her link, by the way. So please, immediately following this. So anyway, we're talking about stuff, and I'm talking, and Leslie Gore is so funny and telling her great. She loves jokes. She was one of the best joke appreciators. Another great joke person, a woman, wasn't gay, but very good. Phoebe Snow was one of the best, could tell a joke. A lot of people today, a lot of comics and stuff can't tell jokes. They have no jokes available. I don't know. Harry Belafonte, by the way, says, down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountaintop, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. Thank you. The lovely Harry Belafonte. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that immensely. Immensely. Thank you. Thank you for that. So anyway, as I'm talking, and as this other case, this other woman who died, we went to her funeral, and it was 70 plus 80-year-old plus a lot of gay people. Have you ever been around old gay people? Old. Not young, not pink hair and this, just old, 70, 80. First of all, they look exactly like everybody else. There's a tremendous sensibility, and their sexuality has nothing to do with anything. They, for the longest times, have been misunderstood. They come from a time when they were kind of told to shut up. Many of them were pre-Stonewall. And I never forgot. The men, for the most part, very, very elegant. This is the Broadway group still. And I thought to myself, that is going to be the group of people that somehow I target doing something, either a business venture, but I want this group of people. George says, any thoughts on North Carolina? Mark R. second degree burns. No, I'm not. Not yet. But let me just continue on. But thank you for this. So as we're speaking, and as we're talking, and as we're doing this, Trump is still hitting the same people over and over and over and over and over again. And I appreciate that, and that's great. And that is great. You know, I understand it. Okay. I'm just looking. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson treated for second-degree burns after touching an exhaust pipe at a campaign event. Now, with all due respect, my dear friend, is that a great story? I mean, am I supposed to stop what I'm doing and say, by the way, forget the campaign? Did you hear about the second-degree burns? I mean, it's an interesting story, but no. I'm trying to tell a story, perhaps, and maybe I'm being too circuitous. What I'm trying to say is that most people don't understand gay people. They don't understand black people. They don't understand Latino people. They don't understand it because they don't have anything to do with them as a group en masse. And there are groups of folks right now who are sitting back and who are waiting to just pounce on this. And somebody has got to get to them and say, now listen, we're going to talk turkey, okay? I know you've been waiting for a long time. I know you've been sitting out, and I understand this. And I know you're gay and you're this and you're probably a Democrat, and I understand that. And maybe you're black, and I understand that. And maybe the idea of you voting for a like that. Thanks, Lionel. No, thank you. And I know you're probably looking at Donald Trump and you're thinking, no. Especially you gay folks. But he is one of you. This is the issue. Figure out how to tell people. You don't know Donald Trump. You don't know him. You're not listening to him. He's obnoxious. I know that. He's obnoxious. I know that. I know it. You think he is. I don't think he is. Sometimes he is. Sometimes he says stuff that's just stupid. But I want you to understand something. If you let this woman theoretically in charge of this country, I don't know who's in charge. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what's going to happen to us. I don't know. Crypto says, did you watch the Eric Weinstein interview when he reveals Kamala's burden word smoothie is from, yes, Karl Marx's manifesto? Yes, I did. I enjoyed that. I don't think she knows that. George Keane, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. I thought that was it. Um, do you think, do you really believe, and I mean this with all my heart, do you really think that she is a Marxist because her father, who abandoned her, who gave her steamer trunk emotional baggage, that her father, who is a Marxian, they say Marxist, by the way, Marxist versus Marxian. A Marxian is the adjective, I think. Marxist is the term. But do you really believe that she is a Marxist? That there are people behind her, that the folks who are behind her, the superstructure of the shadow government, want planned economies and a class-based kind of system? Are you kidding me? Do you know what Marxist ideology says? I know we're getting back to that again. There is no way this woman is not a Marxist. There's no way she's Marxist. No, none. Nothing. No way. That's like if you say she's an anarcho-syndicalist. No, she is not a Marxist. Marxism does not comport with her level of her ascendancy. The people who are running the show are not Marxist. I am telling you, please look at this. Kelly McKinnon, thanks for all you do. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much for that. Crypto says, yeah, no, I don't think I think it's a bunch of crap. George Keane says Zelensky and Starmer, the pensioner, Harmer visiting Trump is the best tell that DJT will win. Oh, I agree with you. Oh, I agree with you. 100%. I said that the other day. The fact that the fact that they're allowed, this is what I don't understand. How the what am I trying to say? How the Biden administration or whoever's in charge of the Biden administration let him do this? Let him go? You know what this is? You're basically telling the world, hey, listen, you're allowing Zelensky to pay homage, not to summon Trump. I mean, the right way to do it is to summon Trump. Let Trump show up. If Trump wants to talk to him, let him go to kiss his ass. That would make more sense. They didn't do this. Do you know how stupid that is? If I were Biden, I'm saying, if I find out that you stepped 1 foot in the White House, I'm going to claw back everything. We're going to have all those bombs basically detonate and take you out. You are not going to go there. In no way are you going to, no, you are not going, no. Do you hear what I'm saying? No. That's the thing which doesn't make any sense. Now, by the way, a little bit about this. Do yourself a favor and listen to people, to my good friend Wolf, the Marxian economist. Listen to people explain to you Marxists. Actually, thank you, Uncle Uncle Crypto. Thank you, sir. Listen to what a Marxist says. Listen to what a Marxist is saying. If I do one thing, I want to disabuse you of this word communist, socialist, Marxist. Don't. Welfare stays one thing. Believe me, she is not a Marxist. She might be using words that class structure. I swear to you, I can hear things that LBJ said that are classic, that sound almost Marxian. Okay, let me change this. Okay, let me change this a little bit. Understand what I'm saying? Okay. Remember, if you're trying to win people over with that Marxist stuff, you're wasting your time because they don't get what that means and they think you're being nasty and all that kind of stuff. All right. Do not fight it. Do not, by the way, I like this. Marxian thought is based directly on Marxist writings. Marxist is Lenin, Trotsky, Stalin, Engels. Stop it. Stop what you're saying. You're talking about a term paper type of thing. She is not that. So, even, and believe me when I tell you this, I know socialists and they talk about this and they never use the word communist. Communism is something that they aspire to. This is the thing which is most difficult for people to grasp. They aspire to communism. That's the ultimate for them. It's the ultimate. It sounds nuts to you, and I know you think it's like, what? It's like no, they're trying. If all goes well, if everything goes smoothly, then maybe they'll be communist. But they no, 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 no. Forget this. Just forget. Don't even bother with this. Okay. Let me give you another one. And this is the most important thing in the world. George in Texas says, hello, Mr. L. I enjoy listening to you, Mrs. L, while I'm in my shop making homemade or handmade custom fountain. I have you blaring from the speakers as I will, Mrs. L, after the show. Please send me at Lionel@lionelmedia.com. Lionel@lionelmedia.com. How I may purchase one of your pens, a fountain pen, a real fountain pen, both with the ink bladder in it or the actual dipping with the nibs, is one of those things that has you connect to thought like nothing else. Please, Lionel@lionelmedia.com. Just send me information. All right. Lionel Clothing Store. Step into style with Lionel Clothing Company, where comfort meets bold fashion. Elevate your wardrobe today. Thank you, LCC. I appreciate that. JT says, didn't Kamala's dad come out during 2020 about her playing the people's black card? Then said her very family in Jamaica owned black people. He said this. And also, if you're interested, I was trying to follow Candace Owens, who was apparently getting to the bottom of something in which she is suggesting that either Kamala is not black. George Keene says, can George in Texas be a possible new sponsor? Indeed. Edie Crowley says, Cami has a more holistic perspective. That she does. But anyway, I was listening to Candace on my YouTube thing. And what's interesting too is I listened to it at Lionel Nation, and then I listened to it. I log in under Lionel Legal, so I get two completely different spheres, so to speak. And I'm telling you, they are going to take her out. Not physically, but I mean, they are going to she is going to step on so many toes. God bless her. Keep listening as long as you can. I don't know how they're going to, and I hope I'm wrong. They're going to make an example out of her. they're going to say, oh, no, 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 no. We're not going to let you be. What she is saying, not only about Israel, but everybody else, and actually going back and she mentioned the Rebbe Schneerson. Oh my God. She has no clue as to what she's dealing with. That's all. And I hope I'm wrong because we need her voice. She's very, 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 very strong as a person, but extremely full of it. Absolutely just filled with her own self-importance. Filled, but you know what? But good, but good for her. Good. It's all right. Good. Um, you know, sorry, I'm just doing a few things here. No, I'm serious about that. It's very, very good. I think she's wonderful, but I have been doing this for so long. And one of the things you got to understand about this business is there's something that is probably the first thing to tell you. And this is life in general, not just this. Pick the hill you want to die on. What they do is they lure you in. They lure you out of the recesses and make you feel somehow that you are bulletproof. They really want you to believe this. They want you to think you don't understand. I got 2 million people or 1.5 million people. I'm Candace Owens. You can't stop me. I am, nobody can stop me because I'm Candace Owens. Good luck. Okay. You don't understand. I understand. I appreciate it. And she honestly will make you think, and I think she makes herself think that she is just, and I hope it's true because I love all thought. And the wilder it is, the better. And especially if it pisses people off, even better. But just be careful because there are people who really don't take this. They don't take this to heart. And let me tell you right off the bat. This is something this is a reality, and you do whatever you want. As you know, what happened with, maybe you don't, what happened with Hezbollah and the getting Nasrallah, and Americans don't know the first thing about it. They thought, isn't that cool? Isn't that great? The way that the Israelis just go in with the phones and the beepers, and that's all they love. They love James Bond. They don't see any problem whatsoever. Nothing. They see no problems at all. Okay, fine. But then you keep going. And then you keep going. And then you keep going. And when she went after the Grand Rebbe Schneerson, I thought, okay. All right. So all I'm saying is pick the hill you want to die on. That's all. After a while, when you keep going like this, it's okay. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Oh, no, on the contrary. If you were crazy, nobody really cared. But if you go, you got that? You got that? Okay. Side note, too, I was listening to a wonderful interview with Victor Davis Hanson, one of the smartest people. I had to turn it off. He mispronounces Erdogan from Turkey, Azerbaijan. I mean, nuclear. I mean, it's just. It's a big. Is he doing this to me? Is he doing it to me? The Mr. Lionel competition. Get ready for the Mr. Lionel bodybuilding competition. Witness ultimate strength and physique. Are you the next champion? Tickets are on sale now. Thank you so much. Let me also remind you, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much because right now, as you know, in the description section, I'm going to be on the 26th of October in New York City at the Cutting Room for 10 days before the election, and an event that will change the shape of entertainment as you know it. I also want to remind you, which is so critical for you, our great and our glorious and our wonderful and our fantastic incredible, wonderful products sold by our wonderful sponsors, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. I don't even know where to start with that one. I can't even put that into perspective. I don't even know where to tell you. When I first did this, one of the things I said was, I want you to make sure that you guarantee that at some point I want to sell emergency food. I said, this is something I've always wanted to do. Okay, fine. And give me the best there is, My Patriot Supplies. They've been with me since day one. And if you go to preparewithlionel.com, you can see for yourself. You got to see this. Oh my God. Look at this. Oh, look at all this. Look at these. Oh, look at the variety. 25-year shelf life. This is what I need. Preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. That simple. And also, I know so many people who are My Pillow families. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com/Lionel. We are a My Pillow family. The bolsters are my favorites to really fine tune. You know, when you get a pillow, you go, okay, that's nice. Right? That's nice. And you got a pillow, okay, all righty. But that's not it yet. The bolster is like, okay, got it. It fine tunes. That's my particular favorite. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Martin Higgins says, I'm Kamala Harris. Elect me to save America from what I've done to America. You are so correct. I want to say something right now, which is really important. And Mrs. Owen will be talking about this at 8:15 immediately afterwards at her channel at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. Okay? Okay. When I see the picture, when I see Justin Bieber, when he was a young man, when he was a boy, it breaks my heart when I see what they did to him and what he was then and how innocent he was and how he just didn't know any better. And when you see these videos, these awful, awful, awful videos, we're seeing these videos of people playing with him, grabbing him, goosing him, kissing him. And he says, hey, I'm a kid. It breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart. And I don't even know how to say this anymore. Don't even know how to say it. Don't even know how to put it into perspective. There he was. And we all looked at him and was like, okay. And we all said, okay, well, that's. Nobody came to his rescue. Nobody. Nobody came. Nobody cared. It's the most important. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to drop here and at Lionel Legal. And one of the things that I would do, and work with me because I'm going to pull this back into Trump. But one of the things that I would do is I would make sure that I give you something to hang on to, something to make a connection. Let me see if I can explain this to you. A little bit of background. I'm a retired Catholic. Some of the greatest time in my life, I loved Catholic school, parochial school. Never was spanked, swatted, abused, ever. Now, I know other people were, I'm not saying they were, by priests or nuns. The nuns were the greatest things in the world. Greatest things in the world. And when I was a kid, the thing that got me, I will never forget this, Sister Vincent, kindergarten, Sister Vincent. She came in and she played the piano, and she had these hands. And I said, I told my friend Randy, I said, they look like fried chicken. They were like gnarled and varicose and vascular and venous and very, she's playing. So she's standing there, she says, children, we had a carnival coming up. I just want you to know one thing. the devil will be there. That is all. And she left. The devil. Your St. Lawrence story still makes me laugh out loud. Read St. Lawrence of Rome, burned on a gridiron. He said, turn me over. I'm done on this side. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. I know. My love of the devil. Every year when we had Halloween, the devil, little plastic, whatever that company was, where you get the box, the devil mask, diabolicchio, the devil. Then I got into Lucifer versus the devil versus Satan and I didn't know they were evil. I just thought they were just. I had no idea of them being evil. I just thought they were just this, like Pan. By the way, Pan, the iteration, the depiction of the depiction of Satan now is from Pan. George Keane says, patron saint of chefs and comedians. Interesting. I did not know that. Some of these are weird. Because when you are a saint, you can, for example, George, you can be the patron saint of hemorrhoids and postnasal drip. And you're saying, but that I never had. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the devil. The devil took on there is no real explanation. The snake, and it did not pick up steam until later, when it was created using and borrowing from pagan mythology. Okay. When I was years ago, I ran into a friend of mine, Maury Terry. I have the book on, you might have seen on HBO, great friend of mine. And he said to me, Son of Sam was about his being either involved in or lured in or being a part of a satanic cult. Saberton Toys says, investing this $2 a day yields $234 in 50 years. Thank you so much. That's one way to look at it. And thank you. And George says, Gustave Le Bon created the devil. Well, I don't know about that, but he is one of my favorites as well. In any event, so at the time, they were telling me, and Maury Terry was a great, and they laughed at him because, remember, David Berkowitz. They basically said, David Berkowitz says, these folks, well, what Maury Terry said, they were into snuff films. And they actually wanted people out there to record people being shot upon. Think about it. That it was that to make money. And up in Yonkers, they went, you could see, this is where they met. And this is where they sacrificed this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I do not believe in the devil or Satan the way I don't speak French. I don't understand it. I'm not saying it's not there. I just don't have any reason to believe it. I think it sounds a little fairy tale to me, but still. Let me keep going on. There is something, I don't even believe in this. It is called, what you would call it, evil. And evil is a different concept. You see, I've been telling you, I have been studying and fascinated by serial killers forever. And the reason why is a very simple question. Why aren't more people serial killers? Why? I don't understand it. Why? Do you understand this? Why? By the way, this is an interesting story. Quote, pissed off Michigan fans boo Walz after his motorcade forces them to wait in the rain for Minnesota game. And that's the way to do it. So anyway, so there are these people. And Bernard Giles, one of the only Piers Morgan interview worth a damn, and it was by accident. He was a serial killer who is one of the most interesting because he did like 5 in like 3 months. You're supposed to take years to develop you. You do it, there's a period of cooling off, and then you wait 3 years. This guy was, and he's the most calm. Check out Bernard Giles. And he said, have you ever enjoyed something? What brings you excitement? What brings you excitement? He says, when his murder, he says, I saw the atoms vibrate. And I understood immediately what he was saying. It was a level of excitement by virtue of something so horrible. Okay. There's another form of evil that's a little different. And I want to create an evil person. Let me ask you right now. If your goal is to create an evil person, what would you do? How would you create one? You have let's say you have this is a sick story, but let's just pretend we're just doing a thought experiment and we're not advocating this because it's demented. But we all start off with 3 children, okay? I want you to make for me a serial predator. What would you do? They're not born like that. Trained. What would you do? How would you do it? Abuse them? Maybe. Crypto Domini says, there is a marked percentage of serial killer truck drivers I never knew till years after being over an over-the-roader. You know what? Probably anything involving itinerant behavior it is. That's fascinating. By the way, a lot of truckers take classes on how to identify kids and young girls who are themselves trafficked. So anyway, I've got a very simple thing. Very simple. You can do whatever you want because people have been trying to say, what do you look for? Remember the holy trio: enuresis, bedwetting, teasing small animals, and arson. Laurie Cuck, the stranger, says, I love y'all. Tyrannical mothers make bad boys. Nope. Maybe. That's not it. Because the thing is, not all people with tyrannical mothers have bad. No. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Hurt them. Do something to them specifically right around the time when they're able to appreciate, not too young, when they're able to understand right around adolescence, and do something of a degenerate sexual nature to them. Crypto says, I should lead a class on behalf of the warriors. Indeed. Thank you for that. That's what you do. Guaranteed. That is going to be a future abuser. That one. Now, that is a different story because in the case of Bernard Giles, he didn't really fall into this. But if you want to see this, when I was a prosecutor, the worst thing we ever saw ever was in juvenile. Juvenile was the worst. Yep, hurt people. Absolutely, Lori. Absolutely. When I was in we started off, we had intake and went to traffic, misdemeanor, and then juvenile, and then felony. It's like juvenile sounded like juvenile was the worst. Juvenile was the hardest. And I met with these counselors, and they had all their dolls, and they would do this. And you'd see these stories and what happened to kids. Okay. That's how you start off with that one. And a lot of people like Ted Bundy, for example, he may not have been abused. It's a different story. If I were Donald Trump, there's 2 people in the world. Number 1, my heart breaks for Justin Bieber, because you know that young man went through on, I don't know where his parents were. I don't know how anybody, and Diddy himself. By the way, folks, if you want to see one of the greatest series, I think it's only 3 years, and it might be on, you can get him. Have you seen Mr. In Between out of Australia? The greatest ever. When people touch kids, what he does, Mr. In Between, the greatest show ever. Okay. Look at Justin Bieber. He's so sick. He's so ill. Look at him now. And there was a picture of him. There's a video going around. He says, "Hey, I'm a kid. My heart bleeds when I see this." You have no idea. I'm not saying that to be cute. And I'm not saying literally. My heart breaks when I see this. He is crying for help. He goes, "Hey, I'm a kid. I'm a kid. I'm not ready for this. This isn't fair. Not yet. I'm a kid." You have no idea what that does to me. You have no idea. I don't know where his parents were. And one of the things I would do if I were President Trump is I would tell people that if you think this is just about walls, you're out of your mind. George Keane says, "I sadly will miss October the 26th in the cutting room. That being said, will you think about a celebration, get together post DJT win, or a Lionel wake for the Republic?" Oh, you know what? Yes. I really would like to figure out a way for us to maybe just meet somewhere. Just, I don't know how we're going to do that. Well, the 26th is the best way to do that. But thank you, George Keane. So if I were President Trump, I'd say these people are evil. They are evil. The devil himself could not pick a better party than the Democrats. The devil would say to you, "I love what you're doing. I love the way you're bringing in unaccompanied minors." Translation, kids you've snatched, grabbed, nabbed, nicked, kidnapped, brought them in, use them, abuse them, wore their little bodies out, destroyed their souls. And I hold you responsible, Kamala and Mayorkas, whatever. You can say whatever you want. You were responsible right now. If we have 200, 500,000, we'll never know. Little kids, you looked the other way. You aided and abetted, counseled, procured, hired. You are an accomplice to absolute evil. How do you like that? To absolute evil. And how you did this, I will never know. How you sleep at night, I will never know. Friends, I need 1,000 likes. I'm sorry. I hate to be so boorish. But these likes, you know, I think I told you this. 57%. There was one video. 57% of the people watching the video weren't even subscribed. 57%. What the hell is that all about? What the hell is that all about? People's incredulity are killing the republic. Lori Cuck says, "You missed my last?" ? And Lori says, "What did Trump mean about his comments about MJ's victim's mother? He knew her." Well, you know, I think he knew him. He knew the victim's mother. I don't know, but he specifically said, "I knew Michael Jackson." And Michael Jackson was I don't believe, if I recall correctly, let me tell you something about Michael Jackson very quickly. I remember reading years ago some of the depositions, and I'm not. Listen, you do not touch a kid. Period. End of discussion. That's it. But in the details of what he was alleged to have done, what he said they have done, it was almost infantile. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. It's almost like somebody who never he had arrested development. He was going through his investigatory, his experimental stage as an adult. It's weird. Again, it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. But what I would say is, elect me president. And if I could somehow snap my finger and everybody in Hollywood, hip hop, movies, by the way, remember what I told you about Clooney? Remember I told you Clooney on Broadway? Keep an eye on that one. They don't know what to. This guy can't. He's just nothing. They're just handing these things up. Please go to them. Anyway, remember I said that. I'm sorry to say this. We would lose some wonderful. How do I say this? We would lose some wonderful people, but the feeder system for this degeneracy would be gone. These are degenerates and liars. And the best part, closeted. The number of gay people. I got nothing wrong with. No, we don't care about gay, but the people. And you can go down. Everybody knows. They think they're pulling a fast one. And they have these arranged marriages and these arranged things. And if you're so LGBTQIA, and if you want everybody else to be so LGBTQIA, why are you going through so much pains to keep your big stars from coming out and admitting they're gay? If there's nothing wrong with it, what the hell's the big deal? Because you're a bunch of hypocritical bastards is what you are. And you're sick and you're depraved. And let me tell you something. If you go through what Diddy is, and I mentioned this at Lionel Legal, make sure you sign up for that. Because I take a prosecutor's look. I look at him and Eric Adams, and we look at what's going on. When you see what those people did, this was Caligula. George Key says, go silent or do not stop my pillow ad until 1,000 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I need 1,000 likes. Look at this. CR says, you are, look at this. You are 100%, Mr. L. Absolutely. Thank you, CR. You can listen to what these people do. Go through it. I would love to be on trial. This would be, believe it or not, Diddy's defense is they did it to me. I'm doing all I know. This is the way. This is my world. Crypto says, I heard Trump today say he was alongside Michael with that mess. Yep. We played it, I think, this morning. It was at some point he was on Larry King. When you see a little kid, and all of a sudden, little kid is all of a sudden nightmares, eating disruption, bedwetting, outbursts, maybe doing terrible things to her doll or her favorite doll, little things like that. The trauma exhibits itself elsewhere. I would go through and I'm going to say this is an industry that took somebody like a Diddy, said, you're our guy. Come on, let's bring in the freak. He attracts, and he's one of many. You know who was really out of his tree? Frank Zappa. Look what happened to Moon Zappa. These people are sick. Just, you can't be normal. Look at this. Last comment said out of love. Love the friggin' ad. It's okay. I understand that. I got that. Thank you. Let me go through this again, though. Hollywood is a bunch of freaks and pederasts and catamites and this and degenerates and paraphiles and degenerates and they get into this. Uh-oh, there's CR. Is a new member. Thank you, CR. They live in a world where it's not just, hey, let's have a, and by the way, I don't know this, but if you told me, they brought that lousy lawyer he's got as a ringer to throw the case against Diddy by saying these stupid things and to completely turn the whole world against him, I wouldn't be surprised. Threesomes? I buy lubricant, baby oil at Costco? What the hell are you talking about? This is demented. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe what I'm talking. I better wrap this up because Mrs. L is going to be on here. But let me just tell you something. Hollywood is a feeder system for degenerates. And when you take a bunch of people, forgive me, monosyllabic, brain damaged, drug addled, uneducated thugs, okay, not all of them, but a lot, put them over here, tattoos with words misspelled, scars and gold teeth and this and that, put them over here. Then the groupies, the poor women who have never had any soul since the beginning of time, since the pinup girls, throw them into the mix. Then the wannabes, the people who figure if I act degenerative or like a degenerate, Lori says, Costco says they don't sell it. Oh, I know that. And by the way, others don't sell industrial strength lubricant. But anyway, you put all these people together. And then you say, hey, right, this is terrific. And then we're going to have these parties and then people doing everything. Look at this. Joe Tacopina as a future Lionel sponsor. I don't think so. Joe Tapioca. I don't believe so. But that's what I would do. Because Diddy is a victim of it. Bieber's a victim of it. And these are degenerates. Days on end of freak-offs. This isn't a threesome. This is predatory. This is somebody acting out. This is somebody exacting and doing to others what was done to them. That's the defense. And if you vote for Trump, we're going to get rid of these people. Shut it down. It's like having this big rat's nest, just pour concrete on top of it like a Chernobyl top and just seal them up and let them, because this depravity has got to stop. My friends, let me thank you. George Keene, Lori Cuck, CR, our new member, thank you. Crypto Domini, I thank you. Georgie, Lori, let me see. Oh, Martin Higgins, thank you so much. Mr. Lionel Competition, I appreciate that. JTE. Edie Crowley, we love you, Edie. Lionel Clothing Company. George in Texas, don't forget, George. Send me where I can get a pen. Lionel at lionelmedia.com. Send it to me. I want to see your stuff. Pens and pen stores. Remember great stationery stores? Oh, I love it. Kelly McKinnon, thank you. And let me see who else. And Harry Belafonte, ladies and gentlemen. All righty. I thank you immensely. We will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Don't forget, make sure you sign up. Make sure you sign up right here if you haven't already for the subscriptions. In any event, we love you. Have a great and glorious day. Right now, go to Mrs. L at. Oops, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Lynn's Warriors. Just go right there. In fact, let me give you the StreamYard. Just a second, not the StreamYard. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say, ladies and gentlemen? Hang on a second. So many of these damn things. Here we go. Just a minute. Just 1 minute. Hurry up. I'm starting to see people starting to line up there. Let me see. Lynn's Warriors, right here. Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. One more time, one more time. There's a live. Almost done, almost done, almost done. Hang on. Here it is. This is it. Sorry about that. Sign up right here. Okay. I'm going to bid you a good day. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow morning. Remember, the Monkey's Dead show's over Suya. And now we're going over to Mrs. Alice at Lynn's Warriors. See you tomorrow morning. Da-da.